We start with education, and government says it will now include some private senior high schools in the double-track system, expected to be rolled up in September. This is contrary to its earlier position that only government schools will run the system. Education Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh said this at a news conference in Accra, where Maxwell Agbawa reports from.
Education Minister Matthew Opoku-Prempeh explained how the 300 million cedis will be spent.
By our calculation, we said we need 8,872 teachers. These teachers will be gainfully employed, not short-term. The cost is 267 million. It is one of the two interventions that government is going to do because of adoption of the semester system. Next slide. The other intervention is that government is going to provide per head 50 cedis to every student as academic intervention, where the teachers, if they want to have to organize extra lessons in maths and English, they will not charge the students. If we add the teaching cost per year and the academic intervention per year, government has to find the money, nearly 300 or 400 million, to cater for that.
He said a number of private schools for the first time will be admitting some students under the free SHS program.
So we work with private schools that we have to absorb. This is not the first time we are absorbing private schools. It has since independence. And private schools that meet the criteria would absorb them, make sure the teachers are qualified, make sure that the environment is safe and secure for teaching and learning.
On suggestions that government allow parents who can afford to pay the fees of their children, Matthew Opoku-Prempeh said it is early days yet.
The argument that the rich people want to pay, allow them to pay, it is true. But I don't know which rich person, since we started the free SHS, has gone to the school and said, my child's school fees was supposed to be 1,000, even though government is doing it for free, get this 1,000 cedis and use it for the general welfare of the school. So far, none. It is not up to me to decide who is rich and who is poor. My main aim is to make sure that no matter the child, that child should not suffer anything that would be a stumbling block. We operated nothing feeding grants in this country for nearly 60 years. And we didn't say if you are rich, your child should not get nothing feeding grants, or if you are poor, your child should not. We did progressive free education in this country for 2 years. We did not discriminate the rich and poor. This is not the time. When every Ghanaian child is in school, we can have the luxury of deciding who is rich and who is poor and using the discriminatory measures perfectly.
Some pundits have suggested that government is using the double-track system to defer the repercussions of a free senior high school that does not target the poor, because in a few years, the 2018-2019 cohort will be moving to the tertiary institution. President Akufo-Addo, at the envisage of the new Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, urged the authorities there to create space for the double-track cohort. Deputy Education Minister Yao Educhum said government is putting all the mechanisms in place.
We are an innovative party, innovative government, innovative ministry. So when challenges come, we use innovation to solve them. So yes, increase in numbers is going to come. That is why we're also doing construction differently. We are securitization, get fund revenue, so that our $1.5 million coming, a large amount of it is going to build university infrastructure, ensure that there's more space for the incoming large numbers of free senior high school students.
The minority in Parliament is demanding that President Akufo-Addo sacks his Executive Secretary Nana Asante Bediatuo over the controversy surrounding the revised Ameri agreement that has led to the dismissal of the Energy Minister Boakye Jaako. They also want the police to institute a criminal probe into processes leading to the review. Minority Member of Parliament on the Mines and Energy Committee, Edward Bauer, says Mr. Bediatuo, who signed the executive approval for the deal, could not be left off the hook.
The moment the Ministry of Energy presented the contract to the presidency, the document ceased to be a property of the Ministry of Energy. It was not the property of the Ministry of the presidency. And so whatever came out of that was going to be the handiwork of the presidency. So if from the presidency they brought this document to us and within a few hours we were able to detect that there were serious anomalies with this contract and the fact that Ghanaians were going to be raped if we approved of this, it tells us that the presidency, and for that matter, Nana Asante Bediatu and whoever is associated with that, is as guilty as the Minister for Energy, and therefore they should also.
For you, particularly at the presidency, was it a case of incompetence? Was it a case of someone being part and party to an alleged corrupt deal? What could have led to them overlooking the errors that you found eventually in Parliament?
You see, for me, based on what I realized, I think that this whole charade of rumors that the presidency felt that they were misled is just a cover-up. And I'll explain to you why. What is it that the presidency, what information is it that the presidency didn't have on the basis of that they took the decision to give the executive approval? If the presidency says they were misled, is it that they didn't see the contract that was given to them? Is it that they didn't see the memorandum that accompanied it? So on what basis were they misled? So it means that even in the face of all the evidence that suggested that the country was going to be ripped off, they decided to partake in this terrible exercise. And so for me, it is more of a complicity rather than the fact that they didn't have the facts and maybe it was a level of incompetence. I think that it was a deliberate attempt to rip off Ghanaians and they were caught pants down. And somebody had to pay for it. And they looked on their food chain and realized that the Minister for Energy was lower on the food chain and could be sacrificed.
Should the special prosecutor and the others, Yoko, get involved at this juncture, you think?
I think so. And you know one thing, beyond just even what I've just said, there's even another issue that necessarily needs the state institutions to investigate. Joe, you realize that they had indicated that there was a power of attorney that was given to one Nicholas Mausi Addo to represent Ameri in the negotiations. Ameri issues a statement indicating that, look, we were never a party to it, and we did not take part in these negotiations. It means that somebody is lying and somebody is speaking the truth. There's suspicion of fraud in this whole agreement, in this whole arrangement. And so automatically, the police and all its allied institutions should have been given that warning, the alarm, and the necessary promptings to begin an investigation into this whole shit. So beyond just the fact that I think that this was a cover-up, it was an attempt to rip off Ghanaians, there's also a suspicion of fraud that needs to be investigated.
However, in an opposing view, the Vice Chair of the Mines and Energy Committee, George Duka, says the minority does not have the moral rights to make such demands.
Good work. The NDC, and for that matter, the minority, is only trying to create a storm in a teacup. I don't know why they are doing that, but I believe they are taking the leniency of the president to his weakness, because the president has done enough to prove to the people of Ghana that indeed he is in to protect the purse of this nation. After all, we've had an instance where an agreement has been signed. We complained when we were in opposition. What they had to do was to go to Kumasi and play Yentiobia music. What the president has done, it is very simple. The backstop at the ministry and the minister in charge has been asked to step aside, and that is the president has done. And I want to put it on record that no agreement has been signed as of now, and no agreement was finalized.
Did you not receive the executive approval?
But did the executive approval, in any way, tell us that it is a final or certified document? Does it make it a certified agreement? No. It was brought before Parliament, a committee, for that matter, to scrutinize, go through, and, fine-tune it. And that is what we did, just to tell the minister that you could have done that, you could have done that. The opinion of the Attorney General, tariff arrangement with PURE, these are comments we made. And it saddens my heart that the NDC is parading everywhere that if they had the right to the committee, would have taken Ghanaians for granted. No, the committee is chaired by the majority, of which I'm the vice chair. And we outnumber them at all times. And if we had the intent of shortchanging Ghanaians. We could have used our numbers.
Well, before we go, let's do some string of health stories. And the one municipality has recorded 8 maternal deaths in the last 6 months. The same number of women lost their lives, same period last year. A situation the one municipal director of the Ghana Health Service expresses concern about. Basilia Salia has therefore tasked the management of health institutions to look into causes of death and take appropriate action to forestall future occurrence. She made the statement at the mid-year performance review of the One Municipal Health Directorate. JoyNews Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam is reporting from Wa.
Health performance reviews done by the various health directorates in the country is to take stock of the achievements, challenges, with a view to finding solutions to the latter. The One Municipal Health Directorate is no exception. Major stakeholders in the health sector, comprising health workers, midwives, civil society organizations, took part in the day's mid-year review meeting. One Municipal Health Director of the Ghana Health Service, Basilia Salia, highlighted the major successes chalked during the past 6 months without the required funding for the programs.
We've done our best because looking at our disease control, we've attained the coverage for the half year and exceeded. If we are computing percentages, we have exceeded the percentage for the half year, except TT2, that is when the pregnant women come for services, we give them the tetanus toxoid. That's the only area we didn't attain the coverage for immunization.
However, the issue of maternal deaths rears its ugly head again as 8 women lost their lives through childbirth. The same number of women lost their lives same period last year. Madam Basilia is not happy with the situation and tasked the municipal health management team to do a quick appraisal to find out where the deaths came from.
Though we haven't recorded at our facility and we haven't recorded any community death, the regional hospital has recorded people coming from the municipality up to 8 people. So we lost 8 mothers in the municipality at the regional hospital. It is unfortunate.
A similar event took place at Wuchao, capital of the West District. Acting West District Director of the Ghana Health Service, Clifford Veng, threw more light on the programs embarked on by his outfit during the last 6 months.
We again increased institutional skill delivery from 24.1% to 25.4% in 2018, as again the target of 60% for the half year. The reason still remains the fact that there are 13 midwives deployed to Chips compound. Also, midwives are keeping watch on pregnant women and prompting volunteers and chiefs to bring them to the facility when in labor.
He was, however, not happy with the staff situation as the district lacked critical staff to attend to patients in the 40 health facilities across the district. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
So that's it for the news. Join us for a review of the newspapers, myjoyonline.com. We'll look at some other portals if necessary, but we'll discuss all the issues into detail. Please stay on. You're still watching us live here on JoyNews.